Hello. You look awfully dreadful. Oh, I'm sorry. Have I woken you? Oh, I didn't mean to do anything like that. It's just, as a mere pauper, I couldn't help but notice you're radiating some sort of aura. Well, yes, I am a pauper these days. Being a pauper is very, very difficult. I do beg on the streets, and it's very humiliating, I'll say. But I get by, but this is not about me. I don't know why you're asking about me. I'm more concerned about you. You're very small. Yes, you're very small. You're very I'm so sorry. I don't mean to pry. And there was once upon a time in my life that was I experienced a lot of very let's say mystical things, mystical creatures and whatnot. But I just want to ask: are you perchance a fairy? I do not know. I do not mean to offend, and I do not mean to, if that is the improper term to use for one such as yourself, please let me know if fairy is a gendered term, or perhaps, in these modern times of sort of the 1400s, it's, we were very, very progressive during these times. So I want to be very clear that I respect you in whatever form you take, and please do not steal my soul while I sleep. I mean, do not do that sort of thing. Oh no, it's culturally insensitive of me to say that. I completely understand. Okay, well, are you all right? Because from what I know about what we call fairies, you might call pixies, or a fae, or pranksters, tricksters, whatever you want to call your kind. You're not known to be sleeping in the mud, with the paupers and whatnot. Yes, I understand. You've fallen on some rough times, is it? Is that right? Oh, okay, well, if that is the case, I do not mean to bother you. Okay, you have fallen on very, very hard times, it sounds like. Okay, well, would you like some help? I don't have much, but I do have some things that could help. And, I've spent a lot of time on the streets. I've been a pauper for, not for very long, but for long enough that I've had some ups and downs, and I've learned to quite enjoy it, actually. Yes, absolutely, I can help you. Well, if you would like some help, I would first need to discuss with you the issue of your presence. So, right now we are safe. But if you are to be as clumsy as you are right now, perhaps other people might notice you, and if they notice you, they might try to capture you and sell you and whatnot. And slavery is I don't hear it's very good. It's not a fun time for the slave, that is. So I would prefer if you didn't do that. So we didn't fall into the wrong clutches. So let's perhaps clean you up, ensure that you are, proper fit and just ready to take on the day, that sort of thing. Okay, wonderful. Well, if that's the case, then do you mind if I examine you? I am by no means a witch or a medicine a medicine person. I don't know herbs of any kind, but from what I've seen, when I was really young, my parents they would take me to this local woman who knew a lot about herbs and stuff, and she would always examine me first, and it made me feel a little bit better. Now I can I think I picked up a few things from those experiences, so I think I can help you in that way. Yes, of course. So I'm just looking over here, and I just want to very, very slowly bring this light to you, because I would like to really take a look. It's very dark tonight, and it was very difficult to notice you. If you weren't sparkling, then I might have stepped on you. So just stay still. Okay. Yes, I'm just trying to get light on all aspects of you. Oh, you okay? Okay, so pixies and fairies, they they recharge in the light. That's why you're so tired, because it's nighttime. Interesting. Us humans, we do this thing called sleep, and I don't know if you know about it, but because we sleep, because it's kind of similar, we kind of enjoy the light. We don't like the darkness, although some people like the darkness. So, yeah, okay, I'll put that down. It's not harmful. Okay, well, I'm sorry. I don't mean to make you upset. I see. So fire, sort of a mockery of the light that you'd once want. Okay. Well, I do not want to offend, so I will move on from that. I'll just keep it here because I'd like to be able to see you, But otherwise, I do think you've got mud, dirt, and grime all over your hair, and I do carry around a brush with me. Now, the reason why I have this brush generally is because if I'll be honest. I'll be really honest, I was really, really good friends with the centaur at one point, and he was very lovely. And but I use this brush with him very frequently, and so it's a bit of a memento of my time with him, and I personally would really like it if I could find some use for it again. Yes, I'll absolutely use it, of course. So here we go. Just if you could stay still, I'm just going to brush your hair. Just to explain what I'm doing, because I do find myself rambling a little bit for you. So yes, okay. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, see, it's really your hair. It does not have the texture of hair that I'm used to. It looks like hair, but it kind of it's very tangled. Yes, it's sort of a property. Yes. It does not take to brushing very well. I understand, but what must be done must be done. Brushing is important. Especially these days, because I learned a lot from my time with the mystical creatures, and what I learned is that they really do like washing hair with water. But it's very difficult for people here to actually want to do that. They don't want to wash their hair. They find it a bit gross, which is a bit ironic. But regardless of the situation here, I do think that you and me, we can come to an understanding that despite the fact that your hair is not taking to this brushing very well, it is the only option, okay? There we go, just... How was that? Is that good? You feel that the hair is now in your eyes, is it? But that's alright. I can help you with that. Certainly I can help you with that. I've got these, when I made very, very good friends with a siren. Yes, I was aboard a ship for quite a while, and, there was a siren that had to, come on board and whatnot, but regardless of the situation, she introduced me to these wonderful little things. I simply, I do not know how in the world were the sirens able to make such contraptions, but supposedly there's many uses for them. So one of the uses that it seems is that you can use it to, put your hair out of your face. Ooh. Another instance of it is that you can pick your nose with it. I have tried. It's not very comfortable, but it can really get in there. So something to keep in mind if I leave this with you. But I have a few of these that she gave to me as a parting gift. So if you don't mind, I'm going to just put it in your hair. It's a bit big, I will be honest. It's a bit big for you, so only 1 or 2 will suffice. I can even use it as a way to tie up your hair into some form of ponytail or pigtails, and that's what you don't know what pigtails are. Have you seen a pig? Yes, so do you know what a pigtail is? Yes, so imagine 2 of those on your head. Wonderful. Okay, so let's go ahead here. Actually, it might be helpful if I grab this. There we go. Perfect. Alrighty, and then I know I have another one in here. One must simply find it. Yes, another one. Okay, so just... Okay. Brilliant. Brilliant. I'm honestly, I'm impressed. Okay, so... Your hair is good, but you need a bit of cleaning. I'll be honest. Are you okay. Personally, I have not encountered many fairies before, many pixies, so I do understand that you're allergic to a few things. Poison, I understand. Most people are allergic to poison, I would say. In some capacity, at least. Okay, you're allergic to steel. I don't really know what that is, so what's next? Okay, I'm not hearing horsetail. So, I have this horsetail here that I've fashioned. I actually fashioned this before I met my centaur friend. I actually used it with my centaur friend, and he really, really liked it. But this has been tried and true through all of the different... different encounters I've had. I've had one with a harpy. My word, she was a little bit of a diva, I'll be honest, but she didn't really let on at first that she was a diva, so I'm just going to wipe away some of that unfortunate grime that's on you because you've been sleeping in the dirt and mud. And you want to be sparkling a little bit because you are a fairy and a pixie. And I want to help you, right? Okay, yeah. Let's go ahead and... There we go. Just brushing it all away. Very good. So I've yet to ask you, but what brought you here, where you would encounter a pauper? You were once a noble. Yeah, I don't really understand how noble society works within the pixie world, but I imagine you don't sleep in the mud, generally. No, you're beloved by all, but there were some jealous few, you say. Wow. That sounds like a tale that, someone would like to hear. I personally find it a bit hard to believe, I'll be honest. In my younger days, I might have believed such a thing. I might have believed it, I might have been entranced by it even. But, I look at you, I look at the situation that we're in, and I simply cannot fathom the likelihood of such a story. See, I'm new. Fairies. There was a little bit of caution within the human race in regards to pixies and fairies, because you guys are supposedly pranksters. So, I envisioned that perhaps you might not be pranksters and tricksters, but in fact you are. It's sort of in your nature. I don't really like that. That sounds a bit problematic, I don't like that you're a race that is just, okay, you can be sincere. Well, why don't you be sincere right now then? I'm helping you. I'm trying to make you better, and here you are trying to trick me, and for what? Mental illness. Okay, well, you know what? I completely understand that. You know what? All is forgiven. That's a bit more here. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, so next I need to do something that I'm not really sure how you're going to take to it. For one, I'm not going to be touching your wings. Your wings seem particularly fragile. and I am not an expert, so I'm not going to worry about that. Instead, I need to talk about your nails. Yes, they are sharp. They're like talons. It's a bit scary, you know. So here's what I'm going to have to do for you. I'm going to need to file them a little bit. Yeah, so these are sticks of wood that I have procured. And they're very good at getting your nails down. This is a technique, of course, I learned from the harpy in particular, because she was very, very good at keeping her nails very sharp. It sort of works both ways. One of the things that you need to keep in mind here is that if you're trying to trick people, you don't want to be you don't want to look scary, right? And you don't particularly look scary right now, but the nails, they do sort of look like they're a weapon of some kind. So, maybe a saber, a sword, a dagger even. So I would prefer if we filed that down a bit. Okay, yeah, you're down? Okay, perfect. Well, so here I'm just going to, there we go. Perfect. It's just, yeah. Just getting it all on one nail at a time. Okay, next one. Okay, next one. Okay, next one over here. You're doing a fantastic job. Fantastic job. Okay, next. Okay. Very good, very good. Okay. Okay, how are you feeling? You feeling a bit pampered, a bit better? Well, that's wonderful, that's wonderful. I didn't know that pixies really could feel pampered, but you know what? There's a few things that I expected from pixies and fairies that simply aren't true. You don't speak in a sing-song, rhyming sort of way. So, we all learn something. Yes, absolutely. Well, is there anything that you particularly need or want? Because just because I'm a pauper doesn't mean I don't have things to do. I'm a very busy lad. Okay, you don't want to take more of my time. Absolutely. Well, if that is the case, then I'm going to go ahead and leave you here, unless you want to come with me. I'm a pauper, but simply put, I have a bit of land, a bit of farmland in particular, that I haven't had the motivation to really fix up. Yes, it was given to me by my grandfather. He left it for me, and my parents, it's a whole story that really you don't really need to understand and hear about. But if I had a fairy with me, perhaps it could make things a bit easier. Well, I would provide you food, I would provide you lodging, and I would provide you with wonderful company. Okay, it's fine company, it's not wonderful. Okay, well, now that we're being honest, then I'm glad that you are excited about it. Okay then. All right, well, I will go ahead and get started on that, making sure that the place is ready for your kind. Is there any sort of rituals I need to do so that you know where to go? You can't simply follow me; it would be too conspicuous. No, you'll know how to find me. Okay, yeah, that's a bit ominous, but that's okay. That's all right. Okay, well, I guess I will see you when you come to my farm.